Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile. And despite straightaways barely 200 yards long, it's a very fast racetrack. The secret is in the variable banking in the 300-yard corners. You may not have much room to accelerate off one corner before shutting down to the next. But with steep banking up to 30 degrees, there's not much loss of speed when you get there. And the all-concrete racing surface provides great traction. With 153,000 seats arrayed in grandstands all the way around the racing surface, Bristol looks more like a football stadium on steroids than a typical racetrack. Veteran drivers have described racing at this East Tennessee Speed Emporium as the equivalent of flying a fighter plane in a gymnasium. So it's not surprising that every NASCAR Cup Series race draws a massive crowd. Still, the best seat in the house is the one behind the wheel, but it's sure not a relaxing one, with laps ticking by at less than 15 seconds. And the compact nature of the track means that there are infield pits on both the front and back straightaways, so drivers have that added complication to deal with. Opened for competition in 1961, Bristol Motor Speedway has had a number of remodels over the years and several owners as well. It's been under its current owner, Speedway Motorsports, that Bristol Motor Speedway has enjoyed its greatest period of growth. And tonight, it's race number 9 of the Beadles Custom Car Carriers Truck Series, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, bringing you race number 9, season 18, the Num Thumbs Racing League Beadles Custom Car Carriers Truck Series. Let's take a look at the race details as practice just about wrapped up. Race distance 155 laps, air temperature 73 degrees, 54% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 3-mile-per-hour breeze, track temperature 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with 60% fuel load tonight, 2 sets of tires over the wall. No fast repairs here at Bristol. None. 0, zip, zilch. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. I don't know if you're betting people out there, but probably a safe bet we're going to see at least one of those tonight. Again, practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. Fast time so far is the 71 of Connor Leach, 14.587. That's really getting after it here in the truck. Ironically, Vincent Short second quick with the same lap time. Skylar Harrod, Mark Collins, Justin Lawson, the balance of the top 5. Just about a minute left in the session. .5 seconds before the black and red flag. Clock at 0 is on the session. Black and red flag. We're going to get right into qualifying. It'll be 2 laps, 10 minutes, the timed portion. And that's the latest the drivers can run here before the session just comes to a close. Whether or not they get those 2 laps in, that's up to them. See who takes to the track first. Looks like Vincent Short first to roll here. Vince carrying a lot of speed through these corners. Truck sounds good. Cross the start-finish line. Lap 1 in the books already. 14.79 for Vince. See if he can speed things up here on lap 2. Not quite what he ran in practice. Short crosses the stripe, goes from 4th to 3rd, 14.705. Lawson currently the top time. One and done. Looks like he lost it on his second lap. Might try for a second, but a quick lap of 16.43 for the 20. Now Albert Anderson's first lap, 14.96. Lawson and Durkee, two of the GOATs at the front of the field, running the identical lap time. Second lap for Albert Anderson, a 14.82. Scott Milner, 9th quick on his first lap, 15.343. Picks it up, 7th quick still, though, with an 8.42. Mike Corvu, 15.145, his first lap. Twelfth quick for Mike. Connor Leach, 11th fast on his opening lap. Oh, just barely scrapes the wall. I don't think that's going to kill the lap. No, it won't, and it puts him to the top. 14.592 for Connor Leach. We'll see if it holds. Larry Dickerson in the number 69. Dickerson cross-star finish second quick, 15.593, matches the top time, but just maybe a 10,000th point slower than Connor Leach. And Chris Goins, 8th quick. Trouble off, looks like turn 2, 14.77. His first lap, likely to be the only lap of record for the 4. Should be okay. Mark Collins out of Castlewood, Virginia. If I remember correctly, I think Mark's got a win here on the dirt. That was back in the HBR TV days. 14.89, 13th quick. Collins across the stripe. 5th quick, big jump, 15.662 for Mark Collins. It does appear the better part of half the field still needing to take time in this session. Sean Roberts, Chris Klein, Jarrett Woodard, Brian McCann, Drew Blaze, Jason Steptoe, Double O Joe, Justin Johnson, Eddie Rose, Mike Fahey, Tom Barish, Rick LePage, Russ Endicott, Mark Truxell. Yet to turn a lap. Again, a 10-minute session. We're only 4 minutes through. So drivers may take the opportunity and wait it out just a bit. Obviously, the laps tick by in a hurry here, 15 seconds or less, or it's free. I know we are already under the lights, but trying to get some temperature out of the racetrack that will help the grip levels just a bit. Looks like Chris Klein about to take the green flag. Chris Klein on the clock. $14.89 puts him 14th quick. Top 10 drivers currently separated by 0.2 of a second. That is all. Now it's a little bit less. As Klein picks it up big time, 14.63, puts it in row 2. About 5 minutes left in the session. Mike Corvu's still on the racetrack here. Might be turning some additional laps or not. 15:145. 16th quick. And still about 4 minutes left in this session. A bunch of drivers have yet to roll. Surprised to see Brian McCann is one of them. Expect to see him with a top 5 starting position here tonight. With that, we're going to step aside here, get another quick break out of the way. We will be back with either the conclusion of qualifying or our starting grid after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway, qualifying in the book, so let's get to it. Take a look here at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 14.592 seconds, it's the 71 of Connor Leach. Outside front row, the number 69 of Larry Dickerson came up 1/1000th of a second short. Row 2, it's Brian McCann and Chris Klein. Row number 3 belongs to Justin Johnson and Paul Durkee. Mark Collins and Sean Roberts will round out row number 4. Row 5 is Vincent Short and Brandon Coleman. The 11th starter will be the 32 of Nick Biddy. Chris Goins starts from 12th. Jesse Redding will start 13th. 14th is Albert Anderson. 15th starter, it's the 31 of Scott Milner. Ryan Pasoko starts 16th. Ben McKinnon 17th. Mike Corvu will roll from the 18th spot. Double O Joe in the 00 will start 19th. Drew Blaze to his right elbow. 21st starter, it's Justin Johnson. 22nd, Jarrett Woodard. Correction, earlier it was Justin Lawson that was 5th quick, not Johnson. Justin Johnson 21st, Woodard 22nd. Skylar Herod will start 23rd. Mark Truxell 24th. Mike Fahey 25th. Eddie Rose will start 26th. 27th is Jason Steptoe. Ross Endicott 28th. Rick LePage 29th. And Tom Barish will round out the field shotgun in the 30th position. It's your starting grid here from Bristol Motor Speedway. We're getting ready to roll. So we got, looks like Elise Zoller in the chat says hashtag free Goins. There's got to be a story there. If you're going to say that, you got to fill us in. We need the backstory. Race details again tonight. 155 laps the race distance. Air temperature 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect night for racing. 58% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 2-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers starting with a 60% capacity fuel load tonight. 2 sets of tires over the wall. 0 fast repairs. Count them. 0 zip zillage. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if necessary.
Not going.
And they're going to wave this off here. We're going to go an extra lap. Try to get the field lined up right where everybody wants them to be. Of course, having to enforce some penalties from the previous race. End of line penalties to get lined out. So this time by, maybe we'll go green. I'm hoping so. I think so. One more. So Chris Goins jumping in the chat while he's driving. Shame. Chris Goins catching the EOL.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. Lap 1 in the books, clean and green. Connor Leach leads them. 69 to Dickerson, second. McCann, third. Durkee and Lawson round out the top 5. Connor Leach looks strong, but Dickerson right on his tail. Not giving him an inch.
Caution,
and the caution is out already. We've got trouble in the middle of 3 and 4. No, 1 and 2. Albert Anderson involved in this one. That insult to injury, the pace truck runs him over. So caution number 1. Early on here at Bristol, lap 4 showing. Black and yellow truck, that's Albert Anderson. Just got loose on entry. Slides up the track. Pasoko gets by cleanly. Not much of an incident, just really a one-truck spin. Everybody doing a masterful job to not collect the 99 of Anderson. Such a difficult thing to do here at Bristol with the corners, radius, and the banking being what they are. It's actually very difficult to kind of see around that corner, not knowing if there's a truck parked broadside in front of you. So if you do see that here tonight, it is a very difficult racetrack to visually see around that corner. If there's a problem on the exit of one of these corners, whether it's 2 or 4, so far, it looks like everybody masterfully getting through that one. Watch that one again. Yeah, got to give everybody some credit there. I know I've been critical of guys in the past, but I'll give you the pat on the back when it's earned as well. Nice job by everybody. So we ride behind the iRacing pace truck here. First caution of the night at Bristol. Connor Leach still your leader. Dickerson and McCann second and third where they started. Paul Durkee's up 2 and 4th, and Justin Lawson hanging out of the 5th spot. Lights are out, so we should be going green next time by.
Ready, green, green,
There
green,
it is,
green.
green in the air. Leach waited on it. Dickerson tried to guessed wrong. He'll lose second quickly as McCann sneaks through on the inside. Leach leads the lap back to the line, leads the field into turns 1 and 2. Brian McCann right in the tire tracks. Larry Dickerson in the mix as well. McCann did a good job taking advantage on that restart as Dickerson definitely showing pace early here at Bristol. Meanwhile, Brian McCann running the fastest lap of the race just now, 14:94. Ryan Pisocco in the 11th spot after avoiding that crash, the last caution.
Caution.
And there we go. We got trouble again. Guys on the
Hang
brakes
on,
trying
everybody.
not to get into it. See the back end coming around. Looks like Vincent Short involved in this. That's a shame. Vince had a strong truck in practice, same in qualifying. See what happened here to the 15 just a moment ago. Oh, Nick Biddy got the wall on corner exit. Bounced off of it and into Vince. Sends Vince into the outside wall hard. That could be night over for the 15, though the truck doesn't look terrible. Lucky enough to be able to drive away. Eddie Rose also had an issue. Let's see what happened here to the 88. This might just been some avoidance. Eddie just kind of stops. Doesn't want to run into Vince there. Can't say I blame him. Teammates and all. So early on here at Bristol, this being a little half-mile short track, I know the tendency is to trade paint, push in some fenders, and cause all kinds of mayhem, but it's so far... just seems like a little tiny bit of driver error for our first 2 cautions. Of course, Albert Anderson coming around all by himself. A single truck incident. Nick Biddy getting a little bit wide on corner exit. He kind of pancaked the wall and bounced into Vincent Short. I'm going to go look at that here another time. Watch the 32 truck just ahead of Vince. top lane. No, he didn't even bounce off the wall. Just got a little loose on exit. Of course, it gets loose. It wants to oversteer for you open wheel guys out there. Turns down into the 15. Rest is history. So we are on the one to go. As you see the field doubled up, ready for the restart. Back to the chat here. Lori Vaught says, hey, Steve. Hey, Lori. How are you? Again, guys, anybody watching, feel free to participate in that chat. Just keep it PG for the kids.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. Connor Leach on throttle. Hits the jump. And a move to the inside. Brian McCann to the bottom of the racetrack, looking for the race lead at Bristol. Not able to get it done. That top lane dominant for now. Leach up the racetrack again, getting the right sides in that top lane. Able to maintain his momentum through the corner. Again, a little bit longer distance to go around the top side of the racetrack, but you carry more speed, especially down the straightaway. Paul Durkee back in the 5th spot, trying to run down Justin Lawson. And Lawson really taking full advantage of that high line. We're in the back of the pack. This is the battle for the 10th spot. Herod has it. Justin Johnson trying to take it away. And Mike Corbu slow on the bottom of the racetrack. May have had an issue out there, but gathered it up enough to keep us under the green flag. It does appear that Nick Biddy is out of this race. And trouble, Woodard goes around. We stay green for now. Jarrett Woodard spins the truck, but manages to get it down to the bottom of the racetrack and avoids the yellow. See what happened just a moment ago to the 79. It's just to the outside of Mark Collins. Collins had a nose to the left rear. Yeah, Woodard got a little too aggressive, I think, in the top layer of racetrack there on the high side. Comes around, even though he's working the top lane. Might have put too much wheel into it. Comes around, gets the inside pit wall, but again, we stay green. Leader's already in lap traffic. Connor Leach trying to knife his way through. We got a couple of new stream chatters. I don't think I've seen these names yet. Good to see some new faces, or new names, that is. Gabby Benura, hopefully I'm saying it right. Woohoo. Number 3 in the Sisk Speed Shop, we got Brett Balch. Probably screwing that name up too. It says, good luck, Paul Durkee. Thanks for checking in, guys. So McCann has lost a little bit of ground here. It's 3.5 tenths back to the 7 for the time being. Larry Dickerson, though, hot on his trail, about a truck length, maybe 2. Following back up here on Chris Goins. Remember, he had to go to the back of the pack to start this race to serve a penalty. Qualified 12th, finds himself up into the 14th position. Might be 13th if he can get clear a step toe here. Not wasting any time, marching his way forward. And there Goins goes into the 13th spot. Next on the list for him will be the 5 of Mark Truxell, about 5-6 truck lengths down the road.
Caution
and a caution has come out.
Get a look at your temps, make sure everything looks okay.
Don't know if this was Mike Corvu or Mike was just coming to the pits. I don't show anything on track to give me a reason for this one. I don't think they were doing a comp caution. I know this league typically does not do that. Still trying to get a gauge on what brought us under this yellow. I don't see anything of it. If anybody else caught it, then you can let me know in the chat. I'll try and find the replay. All I got to do is click that driver's name and then click the yellow flag button. But nevertheless, this puts us under caution for the 3rd time here at Bristol. Connor Leach has led, I think, every lap to this point. McCann will get a reset here. He's in 2nd. Dickerson 3rd. Paul Durkee is 4th. Sean Roberts up into the 5th spot from his 8th place starting position. So far, biggest movers on the day. Furthest up the field is the 3 of Skylar Harrod. He runs in the 10th spot after starting 23rd. Skylar looking pretty stout here tonight. Another driver that's made 13 positions forward. That is the 50 of Jason Steptoe, but he's back in the 14th spot. So as you can see, doubled up again. It's 2x2. Lights on the pace truck out. Work the backstretch here, half a lap away from being under the green flag yet again. Pace truck makes the hard left into pit lane. Green flag back in the air. Battle for the race lead is on as Brian McCann jumps to the outside, trying to find a way around. Tried it on the bottom earlier to no avail, but let's see if it works topside. At the stripe, McCann leads it, not still clear, up to 71. Leach going to battle back on the bottom. McCann continues to chip away, and there he is, finally clear of Connor Leach. Now, Brian McCann, new leader here at Bristol. Let's call it lap 40. See what kind of lap times he can throw down here as he's now in some clean air without traffic. Yes, I said clean air, even on this half-mile short track, it does matter. And we got trouble. Caution is out.
Caution's out.
Drew Blaze, Justin
Be ready
Johnson.
There you go. Be ready with that
Looks like
brake clean
Chris
and stuff,
Klein.
guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
Multiple drivers involved here. Again, Justin Johnson, Double O Joe, Albert Anderson, Chris Klein, Drew Blaze. Let's get a look. Ah, okay. So if you watch closer here, we'll watch the 10X of Justin Johnson. He'll exit the corner here, and I think he tries to make a move to the right, thinking the 2 of Pasoko is going to get into him here, but Ryan sees him coming, holds his line, but the reaction was already in progress. Justin gets into the fence, bounces off the wall, and into the 00 Joe Bennett. And then everything else is just a domino effect from there. Drew Blaze, Chris Klein, Albert Anderson all coming into this mix. Kind of want to try and look at that from Justin's perspective. Pretty sure I've got that one figured, but let's see. From the roof. Watch the 2 there to the inside. Looks like he's going to open up the wheel and come up the track, but then doesn't. And I think Justin was just trying to give him some extra space in case that did happen. Gave him a little bit too much as he gets into the wall. So lap 46, we've had 4 cautions. I think that's reasonable for Bristol. I don't know about you guys, but if you go back and watch Martinsville, I think this is a marked improvement. At a track that I can honestly say I really expected it to be more difficult and more of a chaotic event than Martinsville even was, just given that the speeds are much faster. So far, so good. On the 1 to go again here. We'll get the restart the next time by. This time Brian McCann will be the leader, but he'll be to the inside. The advantage, though, being he can fire first. Connor Leach just has to react. See if this is actually an advantage for the 69 of Larry Dickerson on the bottom. Pace truck is in.
Ready, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Battle for the lead. Leach gets to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take that top spot back. McCann working to the outside. Might have scraped the wall there off turn number 2. Big time run, though, through 3 and 4. McCann back to the point. Leach can't hang on to it. Has to check up a bit. Correct the truck. Will run back in the tire tracks of Brian McCann. Loses some ground now. 2.5, 3 truck lengths off the tailgate of the 7. Larry Dickerson still having a solid day in that 3rd spot. Remember, he started outside front row, missed that pole position by 1/1000th of a second. And here comes Skylar Herod looking to the bottom of the racetrack. John Roberts idle at the bottom of the racetrack. Still no caution. 333 gets rolling. Let's take a look what just happened a moment ago to the 333 of Sean Roberts. He's at the bottom of the racetrack here. And you can see the back end just starts to step out, a little overcorrection and really nowhere for Pasoko to go. Gets into the back bumper of Roberts. Roberts will pound that inside wall. That truck's going to be hurting. Very lucky to not draw a yellow flag out of that. Albert Anderson running back in the 17th, 16th, depending on what part of the track Endicott wants to be. Keep swapping that position, but you get the gist of it. Anderson trying to come back from his poor start here tonight. Anderson still on the lead lap, but still shedding positions. Sean Roberts trying to get back in the mix here. I don't know if he came to pit lane. I don't think he did. So whatever damage he sustained in that impact of the inside pit wall is definitely affecting that truck. You see the left front fender missing off that machine. I think Sean's really just hoping and praying he can catch a caution here, because if he pits under green, he's going to lose a ton of time. Loses another lap there. We got a battle up front. It's from the second spot. Connor Leach under fire as Larry Dickerson closing in. Was right there as we saw the shot of Sean Roberts. And McCann has checked out. Almost a full 2 seconds already. Last lap, 15.36 to Leach's 56. Eddie Rose is on the pit lane. And here comes Skylar Harrod, part of the picture. Gets to the inside. Touching base on Gabby's comment about the 3 of Sisk. I don't think he's in this race tonight. No, he is not. Of course, the Sisk Speed Shop guys are. Leach being one of them in the second spot. Skylar Harrod fourth. There's a bunch of them. Nick Biddy's in there somewhere as well. Sean Roberts loses yet another lap here. You almost got to come to pit lane and fix the thing, because you're losing just as much track position staying out, waiting for the caution, as I think you would just getting the thing fixed and being at least at pace. Leach, though, starting to pull away from Dickerson. Dickerson still in that third spot, trying to hold off the 3 of Skylar Harrod. And caution is out.
Good job, bud. Tell me what you got quickly.
Sean Roberts in trouble again. Again, battling a damaged race truck. Running into problems again. Don't think he collected anybody else. Let's take a look. Just looped it. Again, he was kind of forced to run the apron of the racetrack. He was at a slow enough pace that he was getting away with it. But again, he's battling handling issues on that truck. He smacked that inside pit wall pretty hard with the left side. He'll put some tires on it now, likely to get some repairs made. We are approaching the halfway point of this race. Interestingly enough, Brian McCann stays out, trying to save a set of tires, and he's going to rely on track position and his abilities to keep him up in a reasonable position on track, knowing that the likelihood of an additional caution down the line here is probably going to happen. Or is he going to pit now? Maybe he just missed his entry. This could actually turn into a penalty for him. So Leach will retake the race lead. Durkee will be the outside truck. And it looks like Lawson, Endicott, and Short. Remember, Vince was in a pretty significant crash. We thought his day might be done. But Vince stuck with it. Got some repairs made to his machine. He's kept it out of trouble since. Is now in the top 5. Speaking of guys that have made some things happen in this race so far, Chris Goins, right there with teammate Vincent Short. Goins had to go to the back on the start. Has worked his way now also into the top 5. So lap 73, we'll get the restart lap 74.
Green.
Green flag in the air. Battle for second is on between a couple of goats. Paul Durkee, Justin Lawson side by side. Lawson looking for the race lead now. Leach wants none of it. Drives away, puts a couple of truck lengths between himself and the 20, and the caution's out again.
What's the answer, bud?
Oh, big time trouble. Skylar Herod, Jesse Redding, and Larry Dickerson is in this. Didn't look to be too severe for the 69 of Dickerson, but we'll have to see. Some rear end damage certainly to the 69 truck. Let's take a gander, shall we? Watching Mark Collins here. This looks to be the first truck to have an issue, unless this happened before. Ah, Jesse Redding comes around. Big impacts here. Big time impact for Skylar Herod and Mark Collins. Watch the 21. I think this was self-inflicted here. I don't think there was contact to initiate the spin. Now, I don't know if Jesse just got too hard on the brakes, a little too much rear brake dialed in. Nevertheless, it comes around. Herod gets into him. Then Collins, then Steptoe. I think the 19 of Fahey got a piece of this. Tom Barish will run into Fahey. See Brian McCann trying to skate through on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like he got through unscathed. Well, caution number 6, and we are halfway here at Bristol. Top 5 is Leach, Lawson, Durkee, Chris Goins, Short. Then it's Coleman, Milner, Steptoe, Mark Truxell, Brian McCann. Field in turn 4.
Green flag. Caution's out.
Yeah, we got trouble.
Caution's out.
Skylar Herod around again.
Be ready with, there you go. Be ready with that
Mark
brake clean
Collins
stuff,
in
guys.
this, Jarrett
Careful
Woodard
forward.
in this.
They're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
We'll watch the 3 here. Again, missing that TV panel in the back. I don't know if there's a downforce issue with the 3, but we'll find out in a minute. Just loses it. As soon as he gets to the power, it comes around. Does look like Redding got a piece of it. Collins having his own issue. And then Jarrett Woodard just can't get woed up in time. Gets into the back of the 3 as well. Tom Janikowski mixing it up with his post. Still the high 5 and the checkered flag, but also got the hammer and the wrenches going because it is Bristol after all. What's going on, Tom? All right, so we're doubled up, ready for the restart. Front row will be Connor Leach and Paul Durkee. Then row 2, Lawson and Goins. Then Vincent Short and Coleman. Steptoe, Milner, McCann, Truxell to round out the top 10.
Green flag.
Clean restart. Leach leads it. Lawson, Durkee, now Lawson, Goins, Durkee, and Coleman the top 5. Side-by-side battle for second is on. Chris Goins trying to get more of action here to the inside of the 20 for second. Real loose for the 4. He straightens it out. "87 laps in the books here at Bristol. We're going to step aside, get a side-by-side break. Nope, there it is. Caution. Larry Dickerson involved in
this. Doing a really
this.
good job. Tell me about your race car when you can.
And Mark Truxell as well. Both drivers facing perpendicular to the race direction. See what happened here just a moment ago with the 69 and the 5. Larry just got loose on exit. Now, he did just get tires recently. Cold tires can be a little tricky sometimes, but still minimal damage on his truck. Should be able to continue without major incident. But with that here, we're going to step aside and get our side-by-side break out of the way anyway. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Green flag, green flag. Caution. Do you need anything to drink or anything like that?
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, working caution number 9. Still not seeing what has caused this one. Nevertheless, Connor Leach still dominating here. Got to give a call to Chris Goins, though. Again, it shows he's only made up 10 spots because he qualified 12th. He runs in the second position, but effectively started this race from about the 20th position. Having to serve an EOL penalty to start this one off. End of line is what EOL indicates. He wasn't the only one, which is why it really wasn't really the end of the line with 30 trucks in the field. 56 laps to go. We'll get the restart the next time by. It'll be 55 remaining at lap 101. Front row will be Connor Leach and Chris Goins. Real curious to see if the 4 has got anything for Connor Leach. Even Brian McCann was able to get by, but now McCann mired back. Green flag back in the air. Big time jump there for Connor Leach. Goins really didn't have a shot, but Lawson fired out of a cannon. He'll take that second spot in turns 1 and 2 without much of a problem at all. Goins doesn't let him clear, though. Hangs to the right rear of the 20 machine. Battle for second, still hot and heavy. Chris Goins in the 4. Hot Tamales F-150 to the bottom of the racetrack. Top side still the iBuy Power number 20 of Justin Lawson. Off turn number 4, still side by side, and Vincent Short goes around. Still no caution. Short's going to try and get it righted here. Vince gets it going, no yellow. Race leader is going to go on by the outside, put the 15 a lap down. Meanwhile, Lawson has managed to get clear of Chris Goins. Goins loses the 3rd spot to McCann, back to the 4th position now.
Caution, caution.
And caution is out. Skylar Harrod in trouble again. Tom Janikowski in the chat says, my first racing series on iRacing was a Numb Thumbs Racing League late model series. I learned so much from all the guys in that series. A great group of racers, and as always, a fantastic broadcast. Well, Tom, I appreciate that. I don't think we covered the late model stuff with Numb Thumbs, but man, we have covered a lot of truck series races with them over the years. Let's take a look, see what happened here to the 3 just a moment ago. Put us under yellow for the 10th time tonight. Seems to be a one-truck incident. And just up the racetrack and around it goes. Again, Skylar was damaged in a previous accident. Might have been 2. Klein's going to get the wall trying to avoid. Track also might be changing a bit here as we saw Vincent Short have an issue. Let's see if we can go back and watch Vince's crash, or I don't think it was really a crash, just more of a spin than anything. Watch the 15 truck here. This is getting into, I believe, 3 and 4. Yeah, just comes around on him on corner exit. Did get that inside safer barrier a bit, but still able to drive away from the scene. Believe it or not, laps winding down here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, if you're just joining us, the stream chat is wide open. Jump in and say hey. I do have it limited as far as multiple posts, so if you'd like to type sentences and hit enter and sentences and hit enter and enter and enter, you're going to have to wait. Get it out in one shot like Tom Janikowski just did. Nicely done. Again, keep it kind of clean. Keep it PG. I know it's not made for kids necessarily, but there could be kids watching. It is a video game after all.
Flag.
Green flag in the air. Leach takes him to the stripe. Good jump again. Battle is on for second. McCann to the inside of Lawson with ease, and he's looking for more than just second. He wants that race lead from Leach. Lawson not going away quietly here, sticking to the right side of Brian McCann, wants that second spot. And yellow on the Speedway again.
Clear your stuff, clear your head.
Not sure who we had in this one. Might have been Jesse Redding again. 21 certainly looks like it's been running at a short track tonight. Let's take a look. Big wiggle on entry. It shoots him up the racetrack. Pasoko had a bit of a run to the outside. Was certainly not expecting Jesse to have to save the truck. They make some contact, and again, Redding getting the worst end of it. Meanwhile, Chris Goins will come to pit lane. Right side tires going on. Sunoco Racing fuel going into the number 4 Hot Tamales F-150. Crew around to the left. A 4-tire change for Chris Goins. Drops the jack. He's down and away in 14.75. Not a great year, but a good pit stop for Chris Goins. Goins with fresh tires now will come out in the 11th position. I like this strategy. This is a pretty good call. I know you probably could wait a little bit longer for some more cautions as this race progresses, but now his pit work is done. Likely should be plenty of fuel to the end. He's got the tires on. Again, 40 laps to go here at Bristol. That's not a ton of time. Even if we do get a brash of more cautions and guys come down in pit, he's really not beating up the tires too bad in between. So it looks like Goins will still restart here within the top 10. So didn't have a whole lot of trouble getting through the field from 20th up to the second spot, then battled for the lead for a moment. We'll see what he can do from 10th here, latter stages of this race. Tell you though, Connor Leach really has been the class of the field here tonight, holding off the likes of Brian McCann, Justin Lawson, and others. Making it look easy. I assure you it's not. Brian McCann in the Bungholes Barbecue, number 7. I don't know if it's real, but I sure hope it is. Pace truck hits pit lane.
Green, green, green.
And green flag in the air. McCann timed it well. Switches lanes, crosses over, gets to the inside of Connor Leach off 2. Might have position here. He wasn't able to get this pass done on the inside earlier. Had to go to the top to get it done prior. Still side by side at the stripe. I think Leach may have led that lap, and the battle continues. Oh, Leach gets the wall off turn 2. Doesn't lift. Knows he's got to give everything and then some to stay ahead of Brian McCann. McCann was able to get by earlier on in the race and set sail. Put almost 2 full seconds of distance between himself and Connor, but Connor holds on to the lead for the time being. Knows he's got to protect that top lane. Cannot let the 7 get up there. Top 3 drivers have only made 1 pit stop, so bear that in mind. The caution comes back out. They still have a set of tires over the wall, and there's the caution.
Fellas, we have got a very
Pasoko loses it, and then Chris Klein drives right in the driver's door. Well, let's take a look. Oh, this is 2-truck incident. Russ Endicott. Let's back it up a little bit. So Pasoko in the 2, Endicott in the 57. Clearly Ryan's a bit faster there. Endicott goes top of the racetrack, and I think he might think about closing the door early. He does turn hard left, or he got loose. Nevertheless, they come together here at start-finish. The banking here at Bristol Motor Speedway kind of just cleans itself, sends the trucks down to the inside wall. Skylar Harrod's going to get a big piece of this. Pasoko gets up on the side of his truck. Caution didn't come out soon or late enough for Leach and McCann and Lawson to chance it and come to pit lane. Those of you out in the stream watching tonight, if you haven't already done so, click that thumbs up, that like button here for the channel. It helps us considerably, pushes the video out to a wider audience. If you accidentally hit the thumbs down, it can be fixed. I think you just got to click it again to unselect it, or maybe just click the thumbs up and it'll negate it. I don't know. I like everything, even if I don't like it, because that's just me being a nice guy. And we got Rachel as a new subscriber tonight. Thanks for doing that, Rachel. .29 laps to go at the stripe. Connor
Green
Leach,
light.
Brian McCann, green in the air. Leach fires off. McCann didn't waste any time, but was not able to get to the bottom fast enough. Justin Lawson to the inside for the second position, now looking for the race lead, and look who's in fourth. The 69 of Larry Dickerson. He was involved in 2 crashes tonight already. He's worked his way back into contention. Battle for the lead continues. Leach out in front. Battle raging for the second spot. Brian McCann and Lawson. Lawson slips back to fourth. Dickerson on the prowl, the bottom of the racetrack for second. Really disrupted McCann, gets him crossed up. He saves it though, but loses a bunch of ground. It'll put Durkee to the back bumper of third place McCann. Dickerson has set his sights on the race leader. Remember, he made a pit stop here, lap 107, and it was certainly long enough that he put tires on. It was 20 plus seconds, certainly some damage repair, but man, that truck is on fire right now. Takes a look to the inside, off turn number 2. Nothing doing for Dickerson. To the bottom of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Does he get clear? No, not quite. No, he does. And Leach gets loose. Oh my goodness, he saves it. Leach hanging out of the second spot now. He's going to have to worry about Brian McCann. 24 laps to go. If this goes green to the end, I think it's going to be Dickerson. But will it go green to the end? I doubt it. Big time battle still rages here for the second spot. McCann and Leach banging doors out of the corner. Paul Durkee now into this mix as well. Lawson has fallen back to about the 5th or 6th spot as he battles with Albert Anderson. Albert Anderson from laps down back into the top 5 here with 22 to go. Chris Goins working his way forward now alongside Lawson as well up to 6th. This is what we like to see. New tires and old tires, the comers and goers. Anderson now alongside Paul Durkee up to 4th. Albert also made a pit stop at lap 115. 4 tires and fuel. in trouble.
Caution's
The 11
out.
goes around.
Get a look at those temps real quick, bud.
Anderson had a moment as well, but caution comes out for the 13th time. Albert Anderson just got a little bit too much. Got loose. Tags the left rear and the inside wall. We don't get the caution there, but it happened right behind him with the 11. Yeah, he was just starting to lose it on entry, and then Steptoe, who had the grip, gets in there and sends the 11 around. I want to take a look here. Watch the 31 thread the needle here. Scott Milner, watch this. They're wrecking up ahead of him. Goes up the gut. I tell you, if he didn't lift, I wouldn't be surprised. But, man, he got through it. Nice job by Milner. So, 13th caution of the night. Dickerson is the leader. McCann is second. Leach is third. And they both stay out. They've got tires over the wall, but they do not want to give up that track position. I can't say that I blame them. Chris Goins is back there in fifth with tires. Much newer. Albert Anderson still in sixth. Got lucky with that caution to bunch everybody back up, so his race certainly not over yet. Vincent Short made a pit stop at 107, same as Larry Dickerson. He put tires on. Now Justin Lawson, Chris Klein, Mark Truxell, Jason Steptoe. They all pit this caution. They all took tires. So you want to talk about comers and goers. You're going to see more of that here in a minute, which could be a thrilling race to the end or chaos for cautions. Could go either way. So, doubled up. 2x2 all the way back. Pace truck lights are out. Be 14 to go at the stripe. Tom Janikowski's point, the drivers at Survive Bristol have to be aggressively patient the whole race. How do you do that? Green flag in the air. Dickerson leads down into one, up the racetrack a bit. McCann to the outside, Leach to the bottom. They were three wide for a moment, but Leach tucks in behind, now goes top of the racetrack behind McCann. McCann trying to work the outside. This is how he passed Leach before. They're three wide again. They'll split Dickerson. Dickerson now top of the racetrack. He'll have to regroup. Still not clear as Leach to the bottom, but McCann out in front. Oh, Dickerson tried to clear himself. It wasn't going to work. He made some contact, sends him up the racetrack, stays in second. Down into turn number 3 again. It's McCann, Dickerson, and Leach. 1, 2, 3. Durkee runs fourth. Goins up to fifth. Jason Steptoe, Vincent Short around, and the caution is out again. Here. Well, let's take a look. What happened just a moment ago puts us under caution again. Steptoe just comes around, trying to save it. Short loses it a bit on exit, gets into the 50. Corvu tries to sneak by on the inside. And Jesse Redding having his own incident as well. Been a tough night for the 21. Yeah, guys were getting checked up, and it looks like Collins just kind of right-hooked Redding as Redding was trying to slow as well. Never good when you wreck a guy in a straightaway, even if it's an accident. So now 8 laps to go. I think we're going to get the restart at 6 to go. That'll be McCann, Dickerson, Leach, Durkee, Gones, the top 5. Looking back through those drivers again, Chris Gones in 5th. Freshest tires of the bunch. His pit stop was lap 114. Race leader McCann, lap 71. It does go to show that cooling those tires off did help McCann and Connor Leach as they were able to split Dickerson, take the lead away, move him back to 3rd, and he's got newer tires as well. Again, lap 107 for the 69 truck, whereas McCann and Leach both, laps 71 and 70 respectively. This caution doing more to keep those tires cool. I just don't know if it's, I don't know, we get a 6-lap restart here. If we run that all the way to the end without another yellow, it's going to be a difficult task to hold those guys off. If anybody can do it, it's them. Dickerson going to restart to the inside here. Dickerson might actually be the leader. I don't know if they give lane choice to the leader here in this series. So coming to 6 to go, it'll be the green flag. Maybe the last restart of the night.
Green flag.
McCann gets out to the front here. Leach and get into contact with the 13 of Durkee. We got a big time wreck. And somehow we stay green. Wow. Durkee falls back to 12th, his last truck in the lead lap now. McCann continues to lead. Connor Leach 2nd. Dickerson 3rd. Chris Gones is 4th, and the caution is out. Steptoe facing the wrong direction again. Tries to get righted. Russ Endicott in this as well. Comes around on his own. Steptoe again dealing with a damaged race truck. Endicott gets collected. And I want to go back here and watch the restart with Paul Durkee. Again, how he didn't get a caution then, I'll never know. Keep an eye on the 13 truck here. He was involved in this pretty considerably. They were 3 wide. Leach gets to the inside. Dickerson just comes up the track a bit. And Albert Anderson gets collected. So does Durkee. They both smashed the wall, but we stayed green during that. This is what put us under the yellow about a lap later. So this will send us into overtime, our first attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Maximum of 3. So, for those that are new to the series or new to NASCAR in general, a green-white checkered finish is when the series will add laps, basically overtime, to the race so that this thing has an opportunity to finish under green flag conditions instead of under caution. Green flag comes out. If the caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, the last lap, then we'll line them up again and we'll try all over. We'll add more laps. We'll do that up to 3 times if necessary. If the leader takes the white flag, crosses the line before anything happens, the white flag waves, leader crosses, then that's it. Nothing's going to end that race at this point except for the checkered flag. Here's our first try. Front row will be McCann on the outside, Connor Leach to the inside. Here we go.
Green flag.
McCann gets away just a bit, gets the wall, so does Connor Leach. 3 wide battle behind him. Dickerson gets to the middle again. Goins working the top side. White flag in the air, final lap for Brian McCann. Big time battle here. Dickerson shoots Goins up the racetrack. They're down the back straightaway here. Connor Leach looks to the inside in 3. Last opportunity for this 71. They're on a 4. McCann's going to win it. To the start-finish line, Brian McCann wins. Connor Leach finishes 2nd. Larry Dickerson 3rd. Chris Goins finishes 4th after damaging his truck after a hard impact with the wall. Lawson will come home where he started in 5th. McCann going to take an extra lap. McCann going to drive it to the victory lane, or is he just parking it? Yeah, he's going up the ramp. Well, it's a good thing the photographers aren't up there already. And there she goes. What a win by Brian McCann. With that, we're going to step aside here, get our break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back with our top 3 after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, a chaotic yet thrilling finish here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brian McCann picking up win number 3 on the season. Let's get a word here with our race winner, Brian McCann, driver of the number 7. Brian, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Hey, I do.
Brian, congratulations, man. What a victory here at Bristol tonight. Not the best run in qualifying, still solid. A third-place start, but a first-place finish. Had to hold off hard-charging drivers like Connor Leach and Larry Dickerson. Certainly made you earn it here tonight, but walk us through this race. I know we had a bunch of cautions, but we also had a lot of good racing out there. What was it like from the perspective of your Chevrolet?
Yeah, I sat down with about 10 minutes of practice left and went out there, and first thing I noticed, this truck is loose. I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be a fun race. And then race goes on, I'm kind of learning how to drive and watching Connor and everybody else's line. They're all running the top side, and I tried the bottom side a few times, didn't like it. And then I messed up on one of our pit stops. I thought I was on the back stretch, front stretch, didn't know which entrance it was, and just missed it, and everybody else pitted, so I was like, oh no. And then came out like 15th or something, and fought back up through the field, and had some really good, tight, fun racing up front there at the end.
Really a blast to watch. You got it done here at Bristol. Win number 3 on the season as we look forward to, well, a much bigger racetrack at Talladega Super Speedway next week. Well, 2 weeks from now, as we're going to take a week off here, I think, for the Easter break. But walk us through your mindset to roll into Talladega Super Speedway. Certainly much different than races here at Bristol. Certainly nice and tight together with everybody, but a different style of racing. How do you approach a race like Talladega?
Scoot the chair back a little bit more, one hand up over the top of the wheel, and just relax. I mean, I'm going to enjoy that so much better than these short track races. Oh man, these are, nail biters sometimes. So yeah, just looking for teamwork. So if anybody wants to hook up, let me know.
All right, Brian. Well, again, job well done, picking up the 3rd win of the season here, man. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you go?
My family, league admins for putting this on. You for doing an amazing broadcast. Repeat 1975. Oh no, I'm going to get that wrong. He's going to let's look up Repeat on social media. Amazing spotter. Everybody out here driving tonight. Good race. Everybody watching. I know we got a lot of viewers. Thank you, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Brian. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week. 2 weeks from now. Brian McCann, your race winner here. Man, I've never heard anybody talk about racing at Talladega or Daytona and say they're going to go out there and relax. That's the most stressful racing I've really ever done, but maybe it's just me. With that said, let's talk to Connor Leach, the pole sitter here tonight, our runner-up here when it came down to crunch time at the very end of this thing. Connor, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy? Connor Leach, you got me?
Hey, Steve.
Connor, how are you, man? Congratulations. 2nd place run. Certainly not what you wanted. Dominant performance here tonight, but it seemed like both times that once Brian McCann was able to get around you, that's really all she wrote. Was there anything you really could have done differently to competitively keep that lead?
I guess I didn't realize I'm bad at reading a rule book. I didn't realize we had lane choice on restarts, and I probably would have picked the outside lane a few times there, but I don't think that would have made a big difference. It was just kind of on restarts. There's so many restarts, and you just had to get all you could. I mean, I pit on lap 69, I think it was, and that was the only time I pit all day long. And I had pretty old tires, but I think Brian had older tires because he had to run through the field there at some point, but I thought I was in okay position, and then damn, one restart I saw Larry Dickerson, he just flew up there, and I'm like, whoa, where'd that run come from? And then I found out that he had pit on so-and-so lap way later than we did, and I'm like, God, and I thought about putting tires on there with I think we had 15 or something to go when one of the cautions came out, and I thought about putting tires on, but I was so busy looking at my standings page there to see where I would end up with guys that were on the lead lap and missed the pit entry. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I made my bed, and here we go. And then we had more cautions from there. But yeah, those restarts got crazy. I think I did the best I could. I think I went 3 wide down the inside a couple of times. Got my spot back from where I thought I should be, but yeah, there were some guys on fresh tires that were really mixing it up.
Restart-wise, not 100% sure on the lane choice rule either. I know that some leagues do, some leagues don't. Might be worth a look. But as far as the pit stops were concerned, you and Brian were actually on the same tire strategy. He actually missed pit entry during the same caution that you had pit last on, so you had 1 lap of tire differential between each other, but none as far as green flag laps were concerned. Larry Dickerson, of course, yeah, he came down, he had fresh tires. Pretty much a lot of those guys behind you on fresh rubber, but interesting to note, too, you and Brian McCann, the only 2 drivers on the Speedway on the lead lap that only took 1 set of tires. So that in itself, rather impressive, especially considering the pace you guys were able to maintain.
Yeah, no, I thought, most of the race I was saving them for a bit. There was at one point early on in the race before we took those tires, I got stuck on the inside on McCann. He got a good restart on the outside and got to the outside. I mean, I was trying to fight back for a few laps, and after just fighting hard on the inside, putting a lot of wheel into it, I just knew the tires just went away immediately. Like once I did get back behind him on the outside line, it was like, oh man, this truck don't handle the same way it did before. And then that was we were looking at the laps left and how many laps we could go on fuel with all the cautions, and I figured by about lap 70 I was happy with putting a set on, and I should have probably put the other set on later on in the race, but just never did. I just felt like, oh, I got track position, I want to keep it. And at the end, I mean, looking at the way Larry and a lot of those guys were coming up through the field, I probably should have put another set of tires on, but didn't. And but I mean, came out with second. I'm pretty happy with that result.
Second place here at Bristol. We got a week off here for the holiday, then we go to Talladega Super Speedway. Brian McCann said he prepares for Talladega by just easing back in the seat and relaxing a little bit. I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe racing at Talladega as relaxing, but how do you approach the Super Speedway?
Well, I mean, same as any other race. It's just kind of there is a bit of relaxation, a bit. I'm sure I'll probably have more time to drink beer with those long straightaways, but yeah, hopefully we can come out with a good result. I mean, we got a good team. Hopefully the whole team can show up. We were missing Caleb and Joe David tonight on the 3 team, and a few other guys that are in the other team associated with us. And yeah, hopefully we can have a good result, get some team pushes going on. And I think one of the other super speedways in the NTRL, I screwed up and wrecked a couple of my teammates out. So hopefully we won't do that again. We'll have a good run.
Well, Connor Leach got the Molsons iced down here for a couple of weeks at Talladega. Congrats on second place here tonight. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
Just the whole S3 team. Caleb, he came in later on, was giving us some heads up on who had tires, who didn't. And then Skyler, he had a pretty good run, but got in a couple wrecks, as I'm sure you saw lots of them, and he had some damage on the back of his truck. It wasn't handling very good, kept spinning on him. And Nick Biddy, he had a big one early on that put him out, but props to the team for always showing up. We always have good results, and Nick Biddy Designs for making wraps for all the cars, and you for putting on the broadcast, and especially Derek. I know he wasn't racing tonight, but him and all his admin team for putting on the show, or putting on the league.
All right, Connor. Well, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck in a couple of weeks.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
It's Connor Leach, your runner-up here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the 69 of Larry Dickerson. Strong run here tonight. Let's see if we can get a word with him. It's the milk dud himself, Larry Dickerson. Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Got you loud and clear.
Larry, congratulations, man. I know it's probably not the finish you were looking for tonight. Outside pole to start this thing off. Finish in the third spot after being involved in a couple of wrecks, but took on some tires late in this race. Looking like Superman out there. Just didn't quite have enough at the very end. What was the difference maker?
Honestly, it's the restart there at the end. When I took that lead with the fresh tires, and I started checking out, and I just, with 20-something to go, I was just praying no caution come out, and then, of course, get under 20 to go, a caution comes out, and that's the last thing I needed was Brian and Connor on my butt with them on the restart with them. Even though I have fresh tires, you just never want to see them in your rearview mirror on a restart, because it's probably going to end up bad for you. And the restarts just killed me. I'm more disappointed and upset right now more than anything after I feel like I should have won that.
Well, nevertheless, a third-place finish, nothing to be too upset about. I know winning is the ultimate goal, but a top 3 solid points effort here tonight at Bristol as we roll into Talladega Super Speedway after the Easter break. How do you approach the Super Speedways, Daytona and Talladega?
Usually I like to try to be up front to run with them guys in case a wreck happens and no caution comes out, then you not take the risk of losing a draft. But I'm pretty sure I got an EOL from that self-spin on my embarrassing self tonight on the back stretch, so I'll probably be starting in the back and just try to play it out. And I don't know, right now I'm just, like I said, just upset at myself for letting that one slip away.
Well, chin up, man. You lost to 2 of the best in the business out there, so it's certainly nothing to be too disappointed about. You held your own. You stayed with these guys. You had to battle back through some traffic to get back up there. I think job well done. You didn't necessarily finish first, man, but you won on the night. You certainly won some attention from the fans and the competition out there alike. So congratulations at that, Larry. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
First off, I want to thank Derek for putting on this amazing league and everything he does to get sponsors and everything to help promote it. You with your broadcast, man, like I always say, you're the best in the business in my opinion. I love going back and watching the replay. As long as I do good, I'll go back and watch this replay and look at me embarrass myself a little bit in a couple of those wrecks. But you for your broadcast, big support of mine, Lori. Thank you for all the support she gives me. My teammates Russ and Albert. Albert, I think, finished top 10, and Russ was having a good run, got caught up in a late wreck. And my sponsor, Angelman Syndrome Foundation, again, as everybody knows, is a form of autism I promote on these broadcasts, help try to raise awareness. So go donate anything to those people, or any type of organization dealing with autism. You'll be doing them people a wonderful cause. And my last 2 shout outs is Pappy from work. Man, when I see you tomorrow, we didn't get to win, but they knew I was here, and I put Elliot, hopefully made Elliot name proud. So shout out to Pappy. And also another shout out, I got a good friend listening tonight, really important to me. This is the first time watching a broadcast. Jen, if you're watching still, if you ain't fell asleep, thank you for watching this broadcast, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And that's pretty much it for the night.
All right, Larry. Well, again, job well done. Congrats. Thanks for talking to us. Have a good holiday. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
You have a good holiday yourself, and see y'all next time.
Larry Dickerson, your third place finisher here at Bristol Motor Speedway. That'll wrap up the interview portion of tonight's broadcasting events. Let's take a look here at our official race results. We get them pulled up here. Of course, talk to Brian McCann, Connor Leach, and Larry Dickerson. 4th was Chris Goins. A job well done by Goins. He started 12th. Actually started 20th. Qualified 12th. Drove it up to the 4th position. Battled for the lead there for a bit. He earned every bit of that tonight. 4th place for Chris Goins. Justin Lawson was really fast here tonight. 5th place finish, certainly not indicative of how quick he was. Brandon Coleman was 6th. Albert Anderson, man, that guy just would not go away here tonight. Early incident for the 99. A couple others throughout the course of the event. There is no quit in Albert Anderson. He finished 7th. Scott Milner, a solid run in 8th. Mark Truxell, decent 9th place finish as well. Top 10 for Chris Klein. He rounds out that top 10. Jason Steptoe finished 11th, last truck on the lead lap. He was involved in a few incidents here tonight as well, but still stuck with it. Jarrett Woodard, a solid 12th place. 13th was Paul Durkee. 14th, Mike Corvu. Ben McKinnon, 15th. Sean Roberts was 16th. 17th place went to Vincent Short. Mark Collins was 18th. Ross Endicott, 19th. 20th place, Skylar Herod. Ryan Pasoko, 21st. Jesse Redding, 22nd. Tom Barish was 23rd. Mike Fahey finished 24th. Drew Blaze, 25th. Eddie Rose was 26th. Justin Johnson, 27th. Double O Joe, 28th. Rick LePage, 29th. And last but not least, the 32, of Nick Biddy finished this race in 30th position. Got to thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Of course, if you liked the broadcast this evening, go ahead and hit the thumbs up in the channel itself. It'll help push this video out to some wider audiences. That's always a plus, and we do appreciate that. If you haven't already subscribed, do that as well. If you have, don't click it again because you'll unsubscribe. We can't have that. But either way, we appreciate you guys being here each and every week. It's fun to have you here in the stream chat. Some new faces, Gabby, Brett, thanks for being here as well. We had Chris Goins, we had Elise, Tom Janikowski as always. Thank you guys for chatting it up here for us. Keep it up. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Happy Easter, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.